Bonza staff have had their employment officially terminated. Hundreds of employees were told about the layoffs at a town hall meeting this morning. Joining us live with more is the Australian's aviation writer, Robyn Ironside. Robyn, good to see you as always. Thank you. A tough day, obviously, for Bonza employees, but probably not surprising that this is the outcome.
No, I don't think it was too unexpected, sadly. Certainly there had been media reports around last week which suggested that this was coming, and the employees, they were quite angry about that. They really vented their fury against the administrator, Hall Chadwick, saying the communication has been poor. When did you know that this was going to happen? Why didn't you tell us sooner? There's been a lack of transparency. And what is probably most infuriating for the employees is, even though that they have now been terminated, they can't get access to their entitlements because the decision still hasn't been made to liquidate Bonza. Even though a deadline passed last Friday where no formal offers were received, the administrators are saying, we're still talking to interested parties. There's still the possibility of a deed of company arrangement, which would result in a better outcome for all creditors, not just employees. So the employees are just having to sit and wait for longer without being paid.
Yeah, very difficult times, I thought, with all those employees affected. Robyn, I did want to ask you about another story you wrote a few days ago. We've seen, of course, even today, the climate debate in full swing again. Often the airline industry is used as an example of people given the option to pay more to be sustainable, but overwhelmingly opting not to. Your article in The Australian looked at the trend of offsetting flights. What proportion of passengers in Australia actually do that, actually click the button to willingly pay more for their ticket in a bid to offset emissions?
Well, interestingly, Ash, before COVID, there was about 10%, sometimes more than that, who were offsetting their flights with Qantas. I think Virgin Australia was quite a bit lower. Globally, the percentage is as low as like 1.5%. But Qantas was doing pretty well. And in some areas, like Byron Bay, they had as many as 25% of passengers carbon offsetting their flights. Now that's fallen to about 6 or 7%. And I also spoke to the Webjet Managing Director, John Gusick, who said that they had surveyed their customers, more than 2 million of them, about a sustainability measure. 30 to 40% indicated that they would like to carbon offset their flights, but in reality, only 10% or less are actually doing it. So it sounds like there's the ambition there to fly sustainably, but when it comes to the crunch, when it comes to paying up, people are more reluctant.
Yeah, all talk, no action, by the sounds of it. So, Robyn, where is the sector up to when it comes to creating, embracing more sustainable fuel options?
It's a long, hard slug. It's expected to be carbon net zero by 2050. There is some scepticism within the industry as to whether or not that is achievable, even at this point, more than 25 years out. The problem is the only real pathway to that net zero is sustainable aviation fuel. At the moment, 0.5% of the industry's fuel needs are being produced in biofuels. So that needs to increase by 1,000 times to get up to the levels that airlines need it to. And it's difficult to see that happening. Even the forecasts, the projections put forward suggest that the production rates are not going to be where we need them to be by 2030. So it's a little bit difficult at this point to see them getting to that point by 2050.
Yeah, that sounds extremely ambitious. Robyn Ironside, appreciate your time. Thanks so much.